The football world was shaken. Erling Haaland, Manchester City's goal machine, was heading to Barcelona. It was a move few saw coming. Haaland, linked with Real Madrid for so long, had chosen the Blaugrana. The Norwegian striker, coveted by every major club, had opted for the allure of Camp Nou. Barcelona, despite their recent struggles, had pulled off a major coup. Haaland's transfer sent shockwaves through football. This wasn't just a transfer, it was a statement. Barcelona, written off by many, were back. They had landed one of the world's best players. Haaland's arrival signaled a new era at Camp Nou. The Catalan giants were ready to reclaim their place at the top of European football. The transfer was met with a mixture of shock and excitement. Social media exploded with the news. Pundits were left speechless. This was a transfer that would change the landscape of football. Haaland's arrival in La Liga promised goals, drama, and excitement. It was a transfer that would be debated for years to come. This was a transfer saga full of twists and turns. Just days before the announcement, Haaland was heavily linked with a move to Real Madrid. Manchester City, desperate to keep their star player, offered him a lucrative new contract. But Haaland's heart was set on Barcelona. He had a dream, a vision of playing alongside his idol, Robert Lewandowski, at Camp Nou. The financial details of the transfer were staggering. Barcelona, despite their well-documented financial issues, had agreed to a €1 billion release clause. Haaland's contract was heavily incentivized, with a significant portion of his salary based on performance bonuses. This complex deal was a testament to Barcelona's determination to land their man. They had pulled out all the stops to make this transfer happen. It was a clear indication that Haaland was driven by ambition, not just money. He had taken a pay cut to join Barcelona. He wanted to be part of something special, to help rebuild a club that had lost its way. His decision to choose Barcelona over wealthier suitors spoke volumes about his character. Haaland was a rare breed, a player who prioritized trophies and legacy over personal gain. Barcelona, for their part, had been shrewd in their negotiations. They had offloaded several high-earning players to free up funds. The sale of 10% of Barca Studios, coupled with a lifetime deal with Spotify, had given them the financial muscle to compete for Haaland's signature. It was a remarkable turnaround for a club that had been on the brink of financial ruin just a year earlier. This transfer was a masterstroke by Joan Laporta, the Barcelona president. He had pulled off the impossible, landing a player who many thought was out of their reach. It was a signing that would define his presidency. Laporta had brought the feel-good factor back to Camp Nou. Barcelona were back, and they meant business. Hansi Flick, the Barcelona manager, was already planning for Haaland's arrival. He envisioned a new system, a 3-2-5 formation, that would maximize Haaland's strengths. The Norwegian would lead the line as a traditional number 9, with Lewandowski dropping deep as a false 9. Xavi, the young Spanish midfielder, would provide the creative spark from midfield. This new system was a radical departure from Barcelona's traditional 4-3-3 formation. It was a bold move by Flick, but one that he believed could bring Barcelona back to the top of European football. Haaland's arrival gave him the flexibility to experiment, to build a team that was greater than the sum of its parts. The prospect of Haaland and Lewandowski leading the line was a mouth-watering one for Barcelona fans. The arrival of Haaland also raised questions about the future of some of Barcelona's existing players. Ansu Fati, the young Spanish winger, was facing a fight for his place in the starting lineup. Flick had some tough decisions to make. One thing was for sure, Haaland's arrival would usher in a new era of attacking football at Camp Nou. The Norwegian's pace, power, and clinical finishing would add a new dimension to Barcelona's attack. The prospect of Haaland linking up with the likes of Pedri, Xavi, and Frenkie de Jong was an exciting one. Barcelona were building something special. The signing of Erling Haaland was a statement of intent from Barcelona. They were back. The Catalan giants were ready to reclaim their place at the top of European football. Haaland's arrival had injected a much-needed dose of optimism into the club. The fans were excited. The players were energized. The future was bright. Haaland's arrival also had the potential to transform Barcelona's fortunes on the pitch. With the Norwegian leading the line, Barcelona were among the favorites to win the Champions League. La Liga too was within their grasp. Haaland's goals could be the difference maker, the missing piece of the puzzle. He had the potential to fire Barcelona back to glory. For Haaland, the move to Barcelona was an opportunity to write his name into the history books. He could become a legend at Camp Nou, following in the footsteps of Cruyff, Maradona, and Messi. The Ballon d'Or, an individual accolade he coveted, seemed well within his reach. At Barcelona, Haaland had the platform to become the best player in the world. The transfer had sent shockwaves through football. It was a transfer that had the potential to change the balance of power in Europe. Barcelona were back, and they were coming for everything. The Haaland era had begun,